going. Hello, people. I'm with my boy, my big, strong, powerful boy. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, name's Hot Grapes. How's it going?
It's all good. And today, me and Hot Grapes are going to be talking about some movies, Hollywood crumbling into dust, and a little bit about some politics. Who knows, maybe.
Oh yeah,
All right. Do you
I
have a
get
movie you
I
want to
get
talk
way
about
too.
first thing?
Uh well, n- nothing really comes to mind instantly.
How about some recent movies, specifically horror movies? We said. Any good horror movies you saw this year?
Ooh, I haven't seen any good horror movies lately. Horror is not like my go-to genre usually. But
I mean, there were some like big movies for horror that came out, like the Michael Myers Kills. That was like really popular.
oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I heard a lot about that. I hadn't seen that one, but oh, I heard from some people it was good, others it wasn't. I'm trying to remember who because I usually like not like I respect people's opinions, but
No, it's
I
only your
usually
opinion that matters.
yeah, I there are other people that I listen to their opinions more in depth than others just cuz it depends how educated people are on the matter.
Uh huh.
Uh, I heard that the Halloween from 2 years ago or a year or so ago, the one that came before this one, was really good.
Oh
This
yeah.
one I heard was okay. I'll go in the middle and say it was okay because I heard it was either really good or really bad.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I saw it. It wasn't like good. It was just like a how do I say this? It was just like something. It was like filler because the next
It
one
was a
apparently is supposed to be the last one. So it's just like, oh yeah, this is what Michael
uh,
Myers was doing in the meantime. All right. Anyway,
it was a movie.
it
We'll say that
existed.
it was a movie that I heard of.
It, it was a film.
Yeah. I
Oh my
feel like
god.
horror movies are less likely to be woke.
Woke.
Yeah, I
I
have a
mean, actually,
problem
lately
with
I
the
feel like
woke
horror
stuff.
movies. Honestly, if you want my opinion, I think horror movies were the first to be quote unquote woke, just because like
Oh,
who started the trend of the last person surviving or like the powerful one being the girl. Have you ever
well,
noticed like in older horror movies, the last one living was always the girl for the
yeah,
most
but
part?
I get like you were mentioning Cabin in the Woods earlier, and they they touched on that too. Like the last one to die has to be the virgin, and it's usually a girl. Um, and it's funny. I think it's like a way of like be of showing mercy to the audience.
Well, in the Cabin in the
I think
Woods, he
like
called her the Virgin, the
yeah,
non-sinner. So like that
yeah,
was their mercy. Even though like they also said in the movie
the
that she
innocent
also has to
one.
suffer.
Yeah,
So
the
she was
innocent
supposed to see
one.
pain, but also be able to grow from it,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I
It's
think
like
is just completely stupid. You know?
yeah. I like it. I like horror movies like Evil Dead, where they've got like a big masculine dude that's just
With
blowing
chainsaw
away the
arm, yeah, that
enemy.
shit was cool.
Yeah, I do. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. Is just any any genre that has just the freaking buffed down male character, just Doom guy blowing his way through the enemies.
I
And
mean,
I
yeah, I
love
mean
like
that's just a classic. Like, why do you think like Master Chief, Doom Guy, Samus, like they're all popular because they're just living Giga Chads, you know?
yeah.
Like, is there like a better way to describe them?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And it's nice to see them struggle, but like that's just not like they're in the genre where you want to watch them, you want to watch them win. Um but it's cool to see. I think it's nice to see protagonists really struggle sometimes, and it's interesting to see whenever a horror movie picks the small, innocent, young, pathetic virgin,
Pathetic
be
and dissing her.
be
The
because
young,
it's she's like
pathetic piece of shit, good for
the last
nothing.
it's like the last person you'd expect to survive, and that's a lot of the '80s stuff. Yeah, the '80s slasher movies usually have the the least likely person you think to survive.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's,
Yeah.
but like nowadays it's like obvious who's gonna survive, like in Don't Breathe, or like
Yeah,
or just in general, like Friday the 13th, you know.
yeah,
But that is also something I'll say I like about horror movies specifically. In an action movie, any movie, you know, the good guys are gonna win. That's a given, right?
pretty
But
much.
in horror movies, everyone can die. The villain can win.
Yeah,
I don't even know if like you would use the word villain. We'll say antagonist because like they're not always villains. You know, like
yeah,
ghosts. They're not villains.
the antagonizing force.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Like that's what I like about horror movies. The good, quote unquote, can win. They can lose. I mean,
yeah, yeah. They have more freedom.
exactly.
Like,
Like you can watch a horror movie, and at the beginning, you generally don't know if the main character will actually live or not by the end of it. And I really
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It could go any direction. That's subverting expectations, really.
Exactly. And I like that. Because, you know, you'll
Yeah,
always see, like, people, like, Marvel movies. People always say, oh, why do you watch it? You know, they're always going to win. But then Infinity War came out, and fucking Thanos won. He was just
it told
chilling.
yeah, it told a good story. It they knew like you can't. This is the big bad. You can't just defeat him in the movie that he finally is introduced. He has to win like for the sake of a good story, and
Yeah.
he won.
Because it's
He was
also,
able to
it's like
beat
Thanos.
all
It's
of
the
them.
big guy. How are you going to beat him? How? You weren't even all, like, in the same place. You're all disorganized. You're all mad at each other. How are you actually going to beat big guy Thanos, you know? It wouldn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
it was executed very well.
Yeah, and, like,
Endgame was a good way to wrap it up, but it was okay.
the explanation on a lot of things was weird. Like, they call it what do they call it? The blight? Or, like, the 5-year gap?
Oh yeah, the blip. I
Blip.
the
That's what they call it, blip? I don't know.
they call it that in like WandaVision and the Spider-Man Far From Home. I personally, there was another. I feel like, and then somewhere it was referenced as like something cooler. I personally don't like the word or the term the blip. It's like I don't know something. It was first called the blip in like Spider-Man Far From Home, which has a very lighthearted tone and kind of played everything off as a joke. And so when I first saw that, I'm like, it was a lot more serious than that.
I mean, this
The
because it
blip.
also raises a lot of questions, too, you know? Like, they brought this up in Far From Home for, like, a little joke a bit. Like, it was just a joke to them, but I thought about it. Where, like, the guy goes, yeah, and now it turns out my younger brother's now older than me. But I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, I wonder how many like families are never gonna recover. Like, imagine like a wife thinking her husband died, she got remarried, has a family, and she even has like a 1-year-old or 2-year-old kid with him, and then her husband just comes back, hey yo, what's good?
Yeah,
Sorry, the
that'd
lines
be
at Walmart
really
were crazy.
awkward. Yeah, that'd be really awkward. Yeah,
Or like, what if you had a
they
kid with him? Like, imagine you're a wife, you have a kid with a husband, he disappears for like 3 years because of the blip, and then you learn to move on, you get remarried, you have a new kid with that person, and then the first husband comes back.
yeah, really
Like now it's just
awkward.
like, damn, now what do? You just like married to 2 guys now? You never did get a divorce. And he's not dead.
Honestly, if it wasn't attached to Marvel, that would make for a really interesting movie
Like a
on its
sitcom.
own. A sitcom.
Me,
Yeah.
2 dads, 1 wife. What will they do? Like both like trying to win her love, I guess, would be like the plot.
Yeah. That
All
would
right.
be really.
All right. So now let's move a little bit from movies and talk about the crippling crises in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just
horror
a
movies
mess.
touch on it, but pretty much everything in Hollywood these days is like
destined
Yeah,
to fail.
it's really safe. Like they never take risks. It's all like none of the they never go too crazy with the humor. They always make it kid friendly, fart jokes and
Unless
whatever.
like the point is always to like go too far, like South Park.
Yeah, like they never want to do anything that's considered offensive, and that by offensive they mean like Twitter level of offensive.
And that can be
Like
anything, anytime. Like that changes like on the daily.
honestly, yeah. And they
Like I
for
wouldn't be
some reason,
surprised
yeah,
if like they did something where it's like, did that guy call her Mrs. instead of like why'd they do that? He just assumed she was a woman.
yeah,
What the
like
hell?
yeah, like their level of humor is like for children. It's potty humor, and then they like,
But
oh,
then they want to
I've
complain
noticed,
about it like it's so lowbrow. Like, all right, well, we can't
yeah,
make adult jokes because you can't act like adults.
yeah,
Like that's the best way to describe it. You want adult jokes? Act like an adult.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
so like, especially
It,
like I wouldn't even mind it honestly if it wasn't for the fact that they always try to bring up shit from the past. You know, like this movie came out in the '80s, and that guy called that black guy boy. I mean, yeah, that's fucked up, but that was like normal for them. You can't get them in trouble for it now. Back
yeah,
then, that was the normal thing to do.
yeah, like yeah, bringing out dirt from years ago nowadays. It's
Now
like
they just
you
love to
don't know
dig.
how it was back then,
And even if you
and
did,
the
shame on you for
context is
not just
different.
learning from it rather than just trying to blame them for it.
Yeah. Now we must cancel everything offensive.
Did Eminem say the N word literally almost 30 years ago?
Oh, don't worry. His friends gave him the pass.
Well, like Eminem is like the type of guy.
He's the
He's
blackest
like one of
white person.
not just that, but he's like one of the few people that can genuinely say it's okay. My friends are black, cause he's like surrounded by black people.
Yeah.
Like who else is like a big white rapper? Logic, NF, and Machine Gun Kelly doesn't even rap anymore. Who
Yeah.
else is like a big white guy that raps? Like I can't think of anybody.
Uh,
Puya, I guess, but he's like small school. He's not big yet.
6'9".
Shut
Or
up.
what is he like half black
Is he
or something?
Hispanic?
I don't know. He just looks like a tatted up
Piece of shit.
Justin Bieber. Like his face looks like that of like Justin Bieber, except it's like covered in garbage.
You know, I
Tattoos
used to
and
not like
looks
Justin
like
Bieber, but honestly, I think like he grew on me. He like found his place. You know, he likes to make some pop
yeah.
music here and there. He'll talk a little bit. He'll preach a little bit. He spreads positivity. You know.
Yeah, good on him. Yeah, cuz like his music when he was young was like
Repetitive.
it was good for the audience they were going for. Everybody that was hating on him was usually like just preteen kids that like, oh, Justin Bieber's cringy, and like, yeah, that's not
Adults
for
liked
them, of
him.
course.
Adults liked him because he was adorable. You know, it's like, oh, look at this 12-year-old boy doing his best. You know, teenage
Yeah,
girls liked him because same age, pop singer. They were in love with him. And the teenage
yeah.
boys, ewy zooey, is that you? You know, just trying to be quirky.
Ew, hey.
Not to mention, if you were a boy that listened to him, and like other guys found out you listened to him, like you get bullied on
Yeah.
the spot for it, bro.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now if like people look in your playlist and they see like "Stay" by what's his name, the kid, and Justin Bieber, like, oh, that song is fucking awesome
Yeah, like he's more mainstream now.
than he's ever
already
been.
he already was, but he's even more now.
He fell off a little bit, and
Yeah.
now he's like back in control, because now he found out what his like music should be. His music is just like, like that shit you can like play at a club or like late night,
Pretty
just
chill.
something to vibe with.
Yeah, there's a few songs of his that are that I have on playlists.
Hmm.
Yeah, my playlists are my playlist is pretty diverse. It's got like a little bit of everything. Like if there's an artist out there, I probably have one of their songs at least.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, my playlist I don't have playlists actually. I just use my library and I click shuffle,
Yeah.
and like there's like 3,000 songs, and like it's just anything. Like a French song could be playing, and then like Eminem and then like fucking Metallica right after.
Yeah. 1 minute I'll listen to like that peaceful music from Kung Fu Panda
Yeah,
with like Master Oogway, and then the next song will be like Venom by Eminem.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, man, you know something that still boggles my mind in the music career?
What?
Joji.
George. Oh yeah, I haven't heard too much of his music, but I'm
It's
happy
pretty
for
good,
him
man.
to find his what he
Calling.
loves to do. Something, yeah, his calling. Something that's not gonna kill his voice
You know
as
what
much.
does make me a little upset though?
What?
Not his music, but in his YouTube career, is he said on Hot Ones once they're getting, you know what Hot Ones is, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't watched.
He
that show
said in
yet,
it
but
that his one regret was he didn't switch sooner. So that makes me feel bad because that means like his last few videos were forced. He wasn't happy to do them.
yeah. Yeah, it's not the same when you're like enjoying something and the artist that you're enjoying is like that specific thing that you're enjoying at that moment. You find out later that they hated doing it, and you're
Yeah,
like, oh man, makes me feel a little
that's how I
bad.
feel a little bit. Like I genuinely think there's still hope for Nikado
Yeah.
Avocado
Yeah,
because he knows. Like Penguin Zero was talking about it, where Nikado Avocado said like he does what he does because it's only the way he gets views, which I guess is fair. I mean, it's only like he gets paid for. Like he has to pay the bills, you know.
yeah, but like he's still doing it. Like there are other
Yeah, but like
other
no one's gonna.
YouTubers that, like,
But if you go on his channel and you like go into videos that weren't mukbangs back in the day, he got like almost no views. So like, what is he supposed to do? You know?
I really don't understand the mukbang trend. Like
It's-
it takes zero talent, zero anything really. Like what does it do? It's diverse, I guess, because it was, I think who started it was a lot of Asian channels.
Yeah. Like
Just
there were some people that were
Asian
creative
food.
with it, but like in a
Yeah.
nasty way, they were creative with it. Like that girl
Yeah,
that ate like a living octopus. That thing.
Yeah, I don't.
That was
I'm not.
horrible.
I'm not even. I'm just in general not a fan of watching people eat.
Mm.
It either makes me really hungry myself,
Or like
or
really
it just
sick.
grosses me out. Yeah, or
There-
it's just awkward.
I want
It's
to
like,
say though, like no, I want to because you said it earlier. I don't think people watch Nikado Avocado for the mukbang part. They watch it to
It's
see a
the
grown
shock
man
factor.
crying.
it's the shock factor, and it's like, I genuinely thought he was legitimate. I to a point, I still think he is. Like, I know that he said it's just an act, but like, again, he's still.
It may be
doing
an
it.
act,
There
but
are
you
other-
are still really
You are
hurting yourself.
He's still doing it, and it's
Yeah.
still hurting him.
Like I
It
can't do
costs,
something
like,
bad, and when I get in trouble for it, oh, it's just an act. You still did the action, you know?
yeah, it's like just because you're aware of it doesn't mean it's okay.
Like, you're gonna tell that to the doctor when you got heart disease from your overeating. It was just an
Like,
act.
so
It's
I
disappear.
don't know if his boyfriend or whatever is still with him, but like that dude, they're subjecting themselves to an abusive relationship. Anytime I see them together, that dude's just beating on that Nikado or whatever. It's like, wow, man.
And even if it's
actor,
not
not-
abusive, it's definitely self-abuse, bare minimum. Like that
Yeah,
goes without
so
saying. He's definitely hurting himself.
something's not worth it. Yeah, it shouldn't. Yeah. Because like YouTubers, like they subject themselves to stuff all the time, but like it's bearable, and it's like
It's
they
like
make
not
like, he
always
needs-
killing them.
if he
physically.
if he really wants to do something that'll get him views, I bet if he switched over now to what he is good at, that's like healthy, like he was a singer, he played violin and stuff, and I think that there was a clip of him recently playing violin, and it's like it's still as good as ever. Like if he switched back to that, he would probably get so much support. And
Well, not
his
even
channel
that,
would
but he can
probably
do
explode.
mukbangs, just like healthy food. Jesus,
And
mukbang a
it's
salad.
small amounts.
Make
Yeah.
a salad mukbang.
Yeah, and not in a large
Maybe some
quantities.
brown rice and boiled chicken breast. Mukbang that. You
and
know,
stop fake crying every time something slightly inconvenient
inconvenient.
happens on your
Like he'll drop
videos.
a
Like,
spoon.
oh, quit acting like a baby. Yeah.
Quit being a fucking pussy.
Yeah. Seriously, it's the things like that like make me cringe and just loathe what he's doing. For a while I hated him, but I'm like, you know what? He's doing it because he feels like he has to, and I think he feels like there's no other way out of it. I don't think he's been convinced quite yet that if he switches back to what he used to do, he'd be twice as successful.
Yeah.
Because he's done the hard part. He's done what people find popular, and people watch him now. So if he switched it up, those same people would be like, "Oh, thank you. You're doing something good. You're doing what we've all really
You're
wanted
not
this whole
literally
time."
killing yourself.
Yeah. Good on you. But yeah, it's sad. Uh
I wouldn't even say sad. I'd
yeah.
say depressing.
Yeah. Other
Cause
than
oh my god,
yeah.
can you imagine if his like boyfriend leaves him? Like he'll literally have nothing.
Oh man. That dude, I don't know anything else about him other than like
Depression.
yeah, maybe his depression. He just needs to. I think he does need to separate from Nikado, because he himself, every time I see him on camera, he's just sour, and he's constant, and he just hits Nikado. Like, bro, seriously.
I wonder how much of it is unironic. You know, like I feel like every once in a while, like a punch or two might be real.
Yeah.
Like he just like that underhated virgin. He's just like part of him actually does like hate him a little bit.
Well, probably. Like, if you're doing that for an act, of course it's gonna get. Of course, it's like it's gonna mess with you. And why would you even, if it was an act? Why? You're like, let's have an abusive relationship on camera. Wouldn't that be funny? And then that's all they ever do on camera. And it, of course, it's like, he's like in his head, I'm stuck in this relationship with this dude, and the only way to make money is for us to just be fat and retarded. So,
And hate ourselves.
and yeah, pretty much just it's the whole lifestyle is just self-loathing.
Because there's
and
no
so
way
it's
he
like,
has any self-respect left. There's no
he
fucking way
probably
he still respects himself.
he probably blames a lot of it on Mikado, and so yeah, it's Nikado, whatever. So yeah, it's depressing. Uh, yeah.
Well,
Other than cases like that, I don't sympathize with celebrities and YouTubers and
there's
their
a
first
couple
world
celebrities
problems.
I can relate. I can sympathize with just because if I know they're good people. You know,
Yeah,
like Steve
yeah,
Harvey.
like
I love Steve
the
Harvey.
genuinely good ones. Yeah,
Steve
the
Harvey,
genuinely good
Keanu
ones.
Reeves. Rest in peace. But back when he was alive, Robin Williams,
Robin Williams is a good one.
Will Smith.
There-
Man, I love him, bro.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Keanu Reeves is a good guy, but I think he's like
A little overhyped.
overhyped, overrated. Like, if you met him yourself, he'd probably be a really boring guy.
I
Like,
mean, he admitted to it. He said he's actually a pretty boring guy.
he seems like it. Like, he's put in the roles that he is because he's overhyped, and he's like, he does good for the roles that he's in, but he doesn't have a lot of range when it comes to acting.
Yeah, I mean, most of his things is just a cool guy.
Pretty much. It's funny the things that he's been in. Like, if he had more range, would he? I don't know. He'd probably get more opportunities outside of like the action genre or like stale
Yeah.
comedy. I've noticed him in like he's in a like one or two like more comedy centered films.
Yeah,
And
like isn't
not
he
to
getting a
mention-
new one? A new comedy. What's that? What was that old show called where they had the time machine?
Oh, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah, he's in the new movie.
Yeah, that one came out. Yeah.
And then he's also playing. He was also in the SpongeBob movie,
Yeah, but like, yeah, unless it's Ted or Bill, I forget which one he is.
the one with
Um,
black hair. I don't. I think that's Ted.
yeah, Keanu. Every role that he is where he's not an action star is like kind of drier humor because he doesn't have a whole lot of range.
Yeah,
So
but I will say,
he's he's a
even
good
though he
guy
doesn't
though.
have much
Like,
range, let's say he can only be an action star. He does do a pretty good job of it.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
like the washed up actor. If they
like
called
I
him to
feel
be
like he,
Wolverine,
I feel like he makes up for quantity with quality.
yeah. What do you think that they might cast him to be Wolverine in the new
Keanu
MCU
Reeves?
X-Men? Yeah.
Nah. Didn't
Yeah,
they already
I
confirm the new Wolverine?
oh, I don't know.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, I remember they
Ar-
confirmed it, and like a lot of people were actually like,
Army
"Oh yeah, that's pretty good."
was it Army Hammer or something?
No idea.
Yeah, I forgot. Um, I just hearing rumors.
Speaking of new
Nothing.
castings, the
I
what's
don't
his
think
name
they're
for the new
gonna.
Batman?
Yeah. Wait. Robert
Elijah
Pattinson?
Woods.
Really?
Was it Elijah Woods? Who the guy from Twilight?
That's Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, he's in the Batman that's coming out next year.
That movie looks
Um,
beautiful.
it looks interesting. Yeah. Um, I wish that Hollywood would stop trying to make all of their superheroes absolute tanks because that is not what they are. Batman is not a tank. He was original.
He's strategy.
He's a stealthy and Robert Pattinson
Strategist.
does.
That's what he is. That's the word.
I liked the Zack Snyder take on Batman where the actor why did I just forget his name? Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's more thicker of a build, so of course, and older, so yeah, he's a little more tanky. So that made sense. But the Robert Pattinson is thinner. He's a
He's a
skinnier guy, and
yeah.
I think that's how Batman was originally. I mean, Batman's always been buff, which is
Yeah,
Robert
he's always
Pattinson.
he's clearly
He's
above
but like
average, but he's not.
yeah,
I
just
can
like
get
a
hit by a
thinner.
car and then get back up.
Yeah. Um, my and not even necessarily the build of him, but like his technology. Like
Yeah.
it's a superhero comic, so of course there's going to be fictional elements, but
It's getting
I'm
absurd.
like there are so many like fictional materials that are bulletproof. It's
Oh
like
yeah. He's like, oh yeah, my
it's
bulletproof sunglasses, my bulletproof fucking I don't know deodorant stick. I don't.
and it's like not possible. I wish it was, but it's not. Um, but I wish that in the Batman trailer. I'm gonna see the movie, but I have concerns. Like they
Oh yeah,
make him
like
a
the
tank.
hallway scene where he was getting shot at and
He's
bullets were
just
hitting him.
walking. He's just walking
Like,
into the
there's no way.
bullets,
Even if
and
that
it's like,
stop, let thing exists that
is
can
this
stop a
Superman?
bullet in the like. Even if you stop the bullet, the force is still there. You're gonna feel like you got fucking at least a baseball bat slammed into your chest.
For sure. And
Like
but he's just taking them like it's
he's just
Superman.
walking,
It
like
looks
he's
like
walking through
it
rain.
just it looks like that comic where Superman disguises himself as Batman for something.
You know, people theorize that's what it was.
Yeah, but Hollywood, or not Hollywood in general, but kind of the superhero genre likes to make all the superheroes tanky now. Like, and that's not what they are. Spider-Man's not supposed to have bulletproof suit because it's skin tight. Even if it was bulletproof, he'd be covered in
And
bruises by
bruises
the
and
end of the
not
day.
even bruises, but honestly, he gets hit with like cars thrown
Straight up
at him,
welts.
missiles. Like he'd be
Yeah.
breaking bones. Like the only thing about him is like it's because he's Spider Man and he can take a hit,
Like,
but he's
he
not
is
immune
strong.
to damage.
Yeah, exactly. And so Spider-Man and Batman has been more stealthy. Like he doesn't
That's his
Um,
thing, though. He's
it
always supposed
made
to be
sense
like,
in
I'm
Zack.
a human, but because I'm so good at strategy, I can get out of things, not because I just can't get hurt.
Yeah, like so again, it made sense with Zack Snyder where he's older, he's bulkier, he's tankier, so he's more suited for the interstellar threats that are like as strong as Superman that he like has to bulk up for and be a little more tanky. But with like this is the origin of Batman. He can't already have
He
bulletproof
can't be
armor.
at his next
Otherwise,
level.
yeah, it's like yeah, he you want him to struggle, you want him to like learn. This is his origin. They're rebooting it again. Well, I don't know if they'll continue with Robert Pattinson after this movie. I heard this is the only one that they're doing. But if they want to continue on, if this is the reboot for like a brand new series of Batman movies, they want, and even if it wasn't, they want to make this is his origin, so they want to make him more vulnerable. They want to make him, you want him to make
Human.
mistakes. You want him to, yeah, he'll be human. They want him like he already looks like he like in the trailer. He already looks super edgy, like he's been doing it for years, and it's like, bro,
No,
I
he's
know
new
that
to this.
I know that your parents died, but like your decision to become Batman, it's got to be an impactful one that just kind of shifts your whole worldview, and you're like, yeah, this is what I'll be. Um,
Yeah, in the movie, it kind
I
of
don't
just
know.
looks like in the movie, it's like from at least the trailer, of course. It just looks like he just woke up and like, okay, cool, I'll be Batman. I'll do it. Why
A
not?
little bit, yeah, yeah. The marketing for movies is terrible sometimes. Sometimes the movies are actually really good. The marketing for it was just trash.
Yeah,
Like
all
they
he did
put
was
all
like drop like a
the
couple trailers
cringy
and like, all
moment.
right, cool, fair.
Yeah, and I'm all for showing less in trailers, but a lot of marketing shows like they don't really spoil things, but they kind of
They give you
do,
reasons
and they
to
show
watch it.
yeah,
Like in the new Spider-Man,
they
No Way Home, they never gave us spoilers, anything about like anything big that's gonna happen. We don't know who dies. We don't know who gets hurt. We don't know any of that. But they gave us reasons to watch it. They showed us who the villains are.
yeah.
Like, do we even know who the villain is for the movie for Batman?
For the Batman movie, I think it's the Riddler.
Is it?
But yeah, it's they confirmed in like
I want it to
articles
be Jim
about the
Carrey
movie
again.
that it's the Riddler. Yeah.
I want it to be
Taking a
Jim
darker
Carrey.
turn on it, I think that the Riddler's be like a Saw serial killer type dude that leaves clues, or like Seven. You remember the Seven movie
Yeah.
with Kevin Spacey? Yeah, so he's the Riddler is kind of like that, the Seven murderer, but so he like has kills people and then leaves behind clues or something. He'll be the main villain, but I think that there's other like other Batman villains in it, but I think Riddler's the main. Because I think in the trailer, Batman fights the Penguin. That's his men. They're shooting him in the hallway.
Hmm.
And he's the one that like thinks he's blew up Batman. He's like, "Yeah, I gotcha!" And then Batman's um, car comes out of the flames, and I think that shot's pretty cool. That scene.
Oh, my favorite
That's
scene from
what
the
makes me
trailers
excited for
is
this
the
movie.
"On Vengeance" part.
On Vengeance.
Like, I
He just
watched
like
that. I'm like,
spends
oh, he's gonna say I'm
spends
Batman.
30 seconds. He spends
Yeah.
30 seconds beating
Yeah.
down the same henchman. Like,
And everyone's just
"Ew,
watching, like, damn, he's mad.
what did he do? Jaywalk?
Oh yeah, like I love seeing those memes where it's like when Batman saves you, but he smells an ounce of weed on you.
When Batman saves you, but he notices a parking ticket on your car.
That's a day after the court date. Batman saves you, but he realized that you crossed the street jaywalking.
Yeah. Oh,
Bro,
those are funny, man.
I love them. It's just a video of the guy, the black guy with like his eyes wide open, staring down somebody. I want to know the origin of that. Like, did the guy he was staring at like say something fucked up, or is it just
I
hit
don't know,
like,
man.
or is like the guy that's staring like a crack addict?
They look like they're bros, so he's probably like faking it for a video or something.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's
And
art.
It's funny. I friggin' love memes. Um, yeah, the Batman. It looks interesting. I'll definitely check that out. But a lot of I'm pretty superhero movied out with
Really?
Marvel, especially. Marvel's
I think
killing.
I'm gonna watch this. I bought my tickets already. For the new Spider-Man movie. I
Oh yeah, the
gotta.
Spider-Man movie. Oh, I haven't even bought tickets. I bet it's
Oh,
sold
things are
out.
selling out, bro. They're all sold out near me.
It's huge. Yeah, this is the last. This is It's
This is
been a
like the
while since people
last
got hyped.
movie part of the original like Spider-Man, or the last movie part of like the original Marvel timeline thing for a hot minute. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a while before the next one.
yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, this is like it's nice for people to be hyped up about a Marvel movie now. Everything that Marvel has put out this year has been garbage.
Really?
So maybe
What's that guy? The Shangri-La movie?
Shang-Chi
Yeah.
Shang-Chi was okay at best, but
Really?
it
I
was
liked it a lot.
Shang-Chi and Eternals suffer from like having a ton of different storylines that they like tried to put into one movie, and it just doesn't work. Like on their own they're interesting storylines, but putting them all together into a big blockbuster Marvel movie just didn't work.
I did like that
Shang-Chi
they brought
was
Abomination
okay.
back.
It was it was a nice Easter egg. Um,
But it was
yeah,
cut really short.
yeah, it was way too short. um, so Shang-Chi's okay at best. Eternals was even worse on the storylines that go nowhere. Um, and it's ugh, it's a mess. And then Black Widow, I wanted Black Widow to be good, but
It was
it was
bad.
so feministy that it was like, why do you have to make the bad guys look like idiots? This is Black Widow we're talking about, not Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, like she knows how to fight. You can make them smart, and she could still win.
Yeah, like make the Red Room and Dreykov an actual threat instead of a big man baby that's like, oh no, this woman's laughing at me. I gotta lose my cool. Like, bro, there's never been a Marvel villain that pathetic up to that moment. And it's like, really? Dreykov's supposed to be like one of the. We didn't even know he was alive until Black Widow. We all just assumed that Black Widow was successfully defeated everyone from her past until her movie, and you're like, oh dang, they're actually still out there. Um, but they're so incompetent. It's like, oh great.
It's just a joke, you know.
Like, oh, is this what Hollywood is? This is female empowerment, making all of their basically handicapping all of their villains so that the females have a chance to win. It's like that's not female empowerment.
You make them look
That's like
weaker now.
that's like you're putting a handicapped person in the Olympics and forcing everybody to walk with or to run with weights on their legs while the handicapped person gets like a 10-second head start. Um, or that's a terrible example, but basically handicapping everyone else while giving the handicapped person like a minute head start. Uh, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Um, it's like it was so dumb, and I wanted it to be good because I wanted a Black Widow movie for years, but it was yeah, and it was basically the plot of Captain America: Civil War, or not Civil War, Winter Soldier, but just dumb, a dumber version. Like um they find out a secret society or a secret organization that they thought they had destroyed is back. Um, someone from their past is trying to kill them. They team up with a bunch of other heroes to take down the enemy, and something falls from the sky at the end.
Yeah.
Like almost plot point for plot point. It's it's Captain America Winter Soldier. Um, it was like I don't know if I'll watch it again. And then none of the Marvel TV shows have been fun. Loki
Yeah.
destroyed the canon for me. Like, really? They ruined it, past and future. It's like,
Soiled it.
soiled it,
Soiled it.
soiled it. They ever like, oh man, everything's been ruined now. Like every decision that the Avengers and the superheroes ever made was because this black dude in the space chair decided it. Like, and the TVA. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hated all that. Like, I don't know. It was so dumb.
We did at least get alligator Loki. We did get. There's a silver lining.
That little joke was, yeah, it wasn't enough to save the show for me, but it was funny. But
Something.
yeah, I'm pretty marveled out. The like, I'll watch Spider-Man and I'll watch a few others that they have planned out. The new Guardians of the Galaxy in like a year or two. But other than that, I don't know. they keep digging themselves into a ditch with subpar writing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta keep in mind too, it's a corporation.
Yeah, and corporations don't listen to their fans.
They listen to the ones like they do. It's just they listen to like the whiny bitchy ones.
The really loud minority on Twitter, because they think that Twitter is the new, and it kind of is, unfortunately, the new soapbox.
I mean, yeah. Because especially
Social
with like
media.
influencers, you can tell people like, "All right, don't watch this movie."
Yeah, and they pay journalists and reviewers to say this movie's great, so that it gets good reviews, and so people just subconsciously believe that it's good, without really thinking for themselves. Just consume product, pretty much.
No
I
voice,
follow.
just consume.
Yeah, pretty much. No, don't question. Just consume, and then get hyped for the next project.
And do nothing else. Don't even question it. How don't you dare question it?
Yeah,
Else you'll get canceled.
yeah. I've been canceled before on Twitter, but that's because I questioned the sexuality of a very obviously straight character in an anime that I will not name.
I'm curious now.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's chaotic. I hate woke stuff because they have Pavloved me into just hating a lot of woke stuff, even if it's like a positive representation. I'm just like, why did you put this in here? Because it's just making them happy on Twitter, and I do not like that crowd. I much prefer to see them, reeing on TikTok because Trump said something.
Like, yeah.
Oh, the man. It's there's it's basically just woke stuff and then catering to these people that don't even watch their stuff. It's like these people whine on Twitter that there's not enough
These
representation.
people can't even
in
watch
something.
their own genitalia.
They don't even, yeah. They don't watch the stuff that they whine about.
Yeah, like, yeah, fucking.
Yeah.
It's like with the Sonic movie, people are like, "Oh, see, look, whining can work."
Yeah. Oh. And I love how like a lot of celebrities just get mad at
Oh yeah,
celebrities.
like celebrities that try to make everything political.
Oh, they are so out of touch with reality, man. With the
The
Kyle
youth.
the Rittenhouse verdict.
I mean,
They
yeah,
lost.
I'm gonna say this because I don't really give a shit. He was
Yeah,
innocent in my eyes.
yeah, total. It's obvious self-defense. All the evidence is on video. If you go on CNN or NSNBC, they're gonna cut the edit. They're gonna cut the video, or edit it in some way to make it look like Kyle killed people, like
Blood
unprovoked.
lost.
But the full video is out there on independent sites and probably even YouTube if you dig enough,
Yeah.
if it hasn't been black holed. Um, it's out there, and you will see for yourself that it's a very obvious self-defense. Anyway,
But like,
despite
it's you know what's
that,
dumb to me though. People are like,
yeah,
well, why was he out there if he knew it was dangerous? Bitch, it's a public space. He's in
yeah.
a public space, and
Why were those?
you're
Yeah.
saying, well, the public space is dangerous. That's the problem.
Why was anyone out there? Yeah,
Like,
I
if
mean,
that public
he
space is dangerous, maybe that's the issue. Maybe not him
he's
standing in a
yeah.
public place that's dangerous. Maybe the public place shouldn't be dangerous to begin with.
Yeah, he's partially from Kenosha. His father lives there. His mother lives in Illinois, and then it was legal for him to possess the firearm because we're just kind of going over what's already been said and
Yeah,
what's already
fuck it. Let's
been,
go down the list. Fuck it.
yeah, all the arguments made. Yeah, he was there. If you want to blame people for being there, besides everyone, the rioters, blame the business owners that entrusted this 17-year-old boy, as responsible as he is in their community. Blame them for having him there to defend their businesses instead of themselves. They
Yeah.
totally could have done it themselves, and I'm sure that a few of them did, but a lot of them were like, we want you to put out fires and to defend the business and to register medical aid to people. And I don't even know if he was there with anyone else. I'm sure that there were a few people that he was helping that were there with him to do the same. But he was alone on the video. He was
Yeah.
alone when that incident happened, and it was like, really, man, how irresponsible of those adults, because he was a kid at the time. And it's, yeah. Other than that, the firearm that he had was within the legal. There are like AR-15 laws with Wisconsin that it has to be a certain length, because if you're a minor in most states, you can't like use a rifle or
Yeah.
something unless it's a certain length, and it was within the legal length of Wisconsin's rifle rules for it to be legal. He and so it was legal for him. The firearm was either his friend, his like it was an adult that legally owned it that gave it to him, so it was legal for him to possess it. It was owned by a registered gun owner. Uh, he Everything else is pretty much on video. He was attacked and shot them back in self-defense. He had guns drawn on him first, and then he shot back in self-defense. All the rest of that's on video. It's weird how much the media really pushed to make him such a bad guy because they are so pro gun control, that they brainwashed so many people. Like I have relatives that are like, they refuse to really acknowledge that he is 100% innocent.
Yeah.
They're like, why was he there? Why did he have a gun? Why didn't he call the police? Like, there were no police in that area, which to me was very odd. I feel like there was some sort of influence on Kenosha that night that is probably bigger than the situation really is, because, well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist and I won't get into too much conspiracy, but they just found like what were the FBI doing there with drones out of all the riots going on in America at the time, and all sorts of stuff. It's weird. But anyway,
Yeah, I
is
mean,
sorry,
like
go
I
ahead.
mean that's very true. Like I mean, like let's make it look like this. How about now like this? Like people just need to understand that like the
Yeah,
media has way more control than you guys can ever think.
and um, it was a few years ago, and I need to, fix up my sources and to confirm this. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I think a few years ago, it could have been. I think I read it was back in 2012. There was a specific law that Congress had um, removed. I don't know what the governmental term for it is, where they take away or no longer declare it as a law. Something about the media cannot um, basically they can't create propaganda.
Yeah,
Um,
which
they
fucking
they
hell,
just
we all know
report
that shit's not true.
they just are supposed to report the news. And there was already the thing about the First Amendment, so the media was already, you know, there was probably loopholes with it. But like in 2012, Congress removed that law about not creating propaganda. So ever since then,
It's just all
pretty
propaganda.
it's like the media
It's
has
been
been
nothing
extremely
but
biased.
propaganda.
Yeah. Then there's like it's been breeding it's been creating a divide that really grew in 2015, in late 2015, 2016, when Trump started running for president. um, People were tired of Obama, um, and ever since then, now it's like all the big news sources are super biased. There's a few right leaning that are super biased, but most of it's left leaning,
Mm.
and it's like they never tell the full story, and
I mean,
um,
of course.
it's and
Uh,
it's like they're telling one side of it to push an agenda. Um, Now,
uh,
whenever there's a shooting, they're like, "This is why we need gun control."
no, this is why we need better parents.
Exactly.
Like
But
like in Oxford. Did you hear about the Oxford shooting?
yeah, the one that like that happened like a week ago, a
Like
couple
two
days
days, three
ago.
days ago. The reason I know a lot about it is because it happened in my state. I'm in Michigan. Oxford's like an hour away drive from my house. It's like
So much has happened
you
in
know what
Michigan.
happened with the mom? She I
The
think is about
mom.
to go on trial, or she's like in trouble because
Yeah, they're
apparently
blaming.
she texted her son the morning of, "Don't do it." She knew.
Huh.
She knew about
Yeah.
it, and she didn't call the cops. She didn't call the school because her angel sweetheart, you know,
Ugh. They
uh,
looked the few things I've heard of it
they
was
look like
that
crack
the
addicts.
son. Well, yeah, the son was a total satanic wacko.
Yeah,
So like,
I forget what was it like. The dad also beats him.
oh, the perfect breeding ground for a serial killer.
Bad
It's like,
mom and dad.
yeah.
The key
Um,
ingredients like salt and vinegar. Oh
that's
shit!
that's
What'd
yeah.
you drop?
I dropped a remote. That's all good. I got it. But that's the thing with not just like the news media. Like, well, kind of. There's a lot of people pushing for authoritarianism, where they want the government to decide everything. They want the government to babysit their kids. They want the government to handle all disputes and to
And
take
that goes
care of
against
people and to
everything like
give.
America was built on.
Yeah. So, like, it's the job of the parents. If they decide to be parents, it's their job to raise their children right. If their children wind up criminals and such, then
That
yeah, it
means you
is
failed
a lot
as
of
a
it.
parent.
It's
It's
not the
not their
system's fault.
surroundings.
It's not the system's fault. I
Like
mean, yeah,
I grew up when I was a kid on like 7 Mile Detroit, like really
oh,
really east side, right?
dang.
So like, bro, like I've seen kids in those neighborhoods grow up to be angels. It is not the surroundings. It is not the schools. It is the parents, and I will die on that hill. And you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
When they get there.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
And remember, kids, crack is always fun and legal.